Oh boy, here's today's events. Just going through some SD cards, and I can then tell it's gonna be a doozy. Now, blah. Here we go. Let's start this silliness rolling. Oh yeah, look at all them little old bacon wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That tree is gone now, and this is where I put up the redneck T-post feeder. It's right in line with that tree, but the tree's gone and all that brush is gone, so you can see clearly to the other side of the creek, because that's where the creek is right there. That's where it goes, starts going down. Get a load of that tush hog right there behind that pine tree. Man, oh man. That's the scrape. You can see my scent dripper right there from last year. I'm going to have to investigate it and make sure there ain't no dirt dauber built a nest in the tube. But right there is where the big buck was standing that I grunted in with the extinguisher deer call that I won't leave the house without. That's a big old sow right there. She's probably the mama of that one and the other 11 or 12 of them combing the woods. Golly. Man, them suckers have got to get away from where I roam. That's a big sow right there, and that's another sow. Wonder where all them other little piglets are. I mean, them woods looks like you've run a rake through it, where they've got all that, see all that rooted up silliness? That right there is a big old boar. Look at them tusks, them lips are curled up where he's got him some tushers. He'll be a 275. Every bit of it. Tank. He's gonna, that's all the piglets. Let me go back over here. All right. All right. That's me putting the cover of my security box back on. I had just put that up. That's that Moultrie 40-pound feeder in the 5-foot PVC pipe. But I didn't put no grain in it, because I forgot my number 9 wire and I didn't wire it secure, so I just set it up about a week ago. And look at that. 6 hours after I left, and that coon is monkeying. Look at him raising his head, looking around. Oh boy. Look at him. Look at him squat down and kind of look up. Look at him look right at it like he knows what is going on. That's a big old coon too. That's them big old boar coons that roams the woods instead of the creeks. Something see that limb, something run by. This is 2 days later. That's a possum. An old possum messing around. Armadillo. There's that armadillo again. And there's a lot of armadillos roaming in woods. That's all of that. Go back up over here. That's me putting the security box back on. If you'll recall, this is where I had all the bobcat buckets. I like to walk on them logs, although I hadn't had a bobcat in a while. There it is right there. That's a hawk right on the bank of that creek. He's smacking on something. He caught him something right on the bank of that creek. Something triggered the camera, but it didn't. Deer and whatnot, they can walk right next to this tree and their ears will trigger the camera and you miss it. Oh, blah. Look at that ridiculousness. There ain't no such thing as the three little piglets in these woods. Them son of a guns just multiply. What is that silly thing doing? Almost like he had a itch he wanted to scratch, but he just couldn't figure out what it was happening. I swore one of them buckets was. 2 or 3 of them are sniffing around there. It's been months. I just dumped the dirt and the bait out of the bucket right there. They can probably still smell some of it. Wonder what they're eating on. That looks like he needs the Heimlich maneuver. He's choked up. There's the mama. She'll be a good 225, 230. And piglets have her wore down. Boy, she's thin. Her sides ain't even pooched out. He been down the creek getting him a swig of water. They just hanging around. I hope they find somewhere else to hang around in the next month or so. I guess that's the straggler. My stand is back this way 70 yards, so when that whatever comes up out of that creek, I got a lane here and a lane here, and when they cross right there, they're 70 yards. Get a load of that tank of a sow. That'd be about a 275. See how her sides are pooched out? She ain't got too many nursing on her. That's another sow. That's a brown one instead of a black one. Oh boy, wait a minute. No wonder she's pooched out. She ain't. That's the mother of them. She ain't been nursing none. No wonder she's so healthy. Yeah, she'll be a good 275. Look at that. She's already got a target built on her. Right there. Pow. I'll run that 3 1/8 inch trauma right through her wheelhouse. She got her another target built in. Let her get at an angle, and I'll just put the old broadhead right there at an angle. She'll run about 30 yards, and she'll be history. As big as she is, that's probably right where she's going to lay, too. Armadillo. You see that? You see that right there? That's a frog. See his eye glowing? Let me back that up. Watch it. See him hop? Look how that eye glows. You hop twice. He's a frog. Ain't that something? There's that gray fox. The frog's still there. See his eye glowing? Look at there. There's another frog right there. I wonder why he didn't pick up on one of them frogs. But you can doggone sure see that frog's eyes glowing there? And that's the frog that jumped on that previous video. Oh, that's a big coon. Look at him. That's a frog right there, and there's a frog, and that frog is gone. I mean, he walked right by two frogs. I thought coons ate them. Might be them toad frogs. I don't know. He didn't pay them no attention. Walked right down that log. It's a wonder the gray fox didn't. That was that coon again. Monkeying around. I don't see any glow, so there's no frog. Look at that tush hog. Big old boar. He's a tank. That's a 275. If he's an ounce, he may do 280. Armadillo again. There's a glow. There's a glow right there. Something. That must be a frog or something. Right next to that log. There goes the armadillo. I don't see no little frog eyes glowing. There he is. That's that hawk. Boy, that sun's shining brightly on him. Must have been after a squirrel or something in the blazing heat. Something just went running by. See how them leaves were moving? Ain't no telling. Fog's rolled in. That's an armadillo. There's the big coon again. There's a frog right next to that log. You can see his eye glowing. There's another one right there. See his eye glowing. And the coon ambles off. Another armadillo. There's the frog again. Look, there's that frog right there. He's looking at the camera. You can see the two little glows. The other ones you just get in the side. And there's one right there. One little glow. The coon goes down in the creek. Armadillo again. There's the frog. And there's another one right there next to that log. can see their little eyes glowing. And there's another one right there. Yeah, you can see his little glow there. So there's 3 frogs. 1, 2, 3. I wish something would come by and catch one of them frogs while the camera's rolling. There's that armadillo. That's a pretty big one right there. He's on the look for something to eat. Let's make a big old circle. And armadillo again. Look at that trashy thing. I've caught 28 of them suckers. There's 29. He's history. Armadillo monkeying around. Whatever triggered it then is done got on by. Like I said, them deer like to walk right by this pine tree, and the top of their ears will trigger it, and they'll be gone, you know. And I have had bucks antlers just barely sticking up as they cruised by. Give it another 5 weeks, and they will be, especially them 3 points and spikes, boy, they like to cruise across that creek, and they'll come across at an angle, just every which way, all times of the day. Little old dinks. Look at that ridiculousness. It made it to the creek. I drug that sucker back towards me, and there's a big old hole in the creek. I chunked it in. I don't know what has triggered the camera. There ain't no telling what bird could fly by and trigger this thing. Hawk. Yeah, look at that. That's probably what happened. He probably was swooping down towards the creek and triggered it, and there he flies off to never look. See how them leaves are going? And earlier them leaves were going back and forth on them little bushes there. I bet he come sailing from the sky and just flew right down. That explains that mystery. Oh, nothing. That's about normal bobcat time. Although I ain't seen one in a couple of months, he's just vanished. Look at that. Look at that ridiculousness. Boy, he was camouflaged standing there. See him? That ain't the same That's a little pup. That's a little coyote puppy. He wasn't big as a minute. That other one that come across earlier, that was a full grown when it crossed at night. But that one right there is just a puppy. He probably ain't but 5 months old. Now we're back to Armadilloville. Well, That's the last one on that, and I am sad to say I have not had any fawns. That's disappointing. In fact, I just ain't had no deer. I did have a 7-point. I don't even think I saved that bit. It was just one. He's probably just 12 or 13 inches. Just a little old young buck. I had him July the 10th. But other than that, I just ain't had no deer. But September the 1st is the magic date. Them bucks will be all over the place. But anyway, that's all of the SD card readings. But stay tuned. Just rest assured, come about September 1st, them deer will start moving from their summer habitat to their fall habitat, which is where I'm hunting in. There's a big clear cut a couple of miles away, and I think them bucks live over there where they don't have to worry about damaging their horns, because it's a thicket in the woods I hunt. But anyway, till the next event.